Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel. All right, so last week I talked about why I was short the market. I had a big BTC short open. I did open up now an ETH short on Bitget, on Bitget. That's where I do everything. I was thinking Bitget because I was shocked at how much the BTC price dropped during the craziness earlier this week. On Bybit, the price of Bitcoin went all the way down to 23,800, which was shocking to me. I used to do all my trading on Bybit. I mean, look, that just goes to show just how illiquid these markets are. Bybit's a big exchange. I think that's Crypto Banter. That's the big exchange that they do all the affiliate work for. And it shocked me that it went down that low. Bitget got pretty low as well, but nowhere as low as that. So Bitget's where I do all my trades. And I've been doing all my trades on Bitget for quite some time now. And I do have an affiliate link below, so feel free to support the channel by clicking on that link if you're going to trade. But on Bybit, it got down. On Bitget, it got all the way down to 24,300. So about a $500 change. And then if you look at Coinbase, Coinbase it dropped all the way down to 25,200. So Coinbase showing that it had a decent amount more liquidity than Bitget. But still, I mean, look at these candles. I mean, that's just insane what happened. That just goes to show right there how illiquid these markets are, and it's just a tough time to trade. If you're going to trade with very little leverage and just be careful because right now these markets are tough. So look, last week we talked about China, and I guess it worked out because it came up as a big news event. So I had talked about the fact that I thought that China, all the issues with the fact that so many of people's savings are wrapped into real estate there. It's just a recipe for disaster. So this huge giant Evergrande, I think it's Evergrande or Evergrande, don't even know how to pronounce it. They did file for bankruptcy in the US, which is pretty funny. I don't understand the insides and outs of that, but yeah, they filed for bankruptcy in the US, not in China. And yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that I think there's going to be more things breaking. More things will be breaking as more and more things happen as the Fed keeps doing their thing and trying to fight inflation the best way they know how. Whether it's working, whether it's not working, whether you're a fan of it, that's a whole nother conversation that I don't want to talk about because we've covered that in so much detail. I also wanted to talk about this right here with crypto prices dramatically plunge on report that Elon Musk SpaceX has sold its Bitcoin. To me, it's a big. I just don't think that it's a big deal. It looks like the Bitcoin was sold, 1 to 2 years ago. So what's the big deal? I don't know. To me, this was a big nothing burger, but the market, because it happened right when the Evergrande news happened, I think the two just really hit crypto hard. Think about the fact that the NASDAQ is just so frothy right now. We talked about that last week as well. You put all those things together, I think that's what happened. But really, and what no one's really talking about that I think is a big deal is this. If we look at the China money supply or the M2 chart, you will see that they were really pumping liquidity into the markets in early January. And this is all the way through July. And now it's starting to trend down. And if you look at what Bitcoin did from all the way down from, I think it was about 15K-ish, all the way up to almost 32K, I do think that this right here, this chart tells you why that happened. It was money coming in from the East, and it was all this liquidity that China was pumping into the markets. I think that had a big deal to do with it. Now, yes, of course, a lot of the purchases were by big firms in the US. A lot of it had to do with the whole possible approval of the Bitcoin ETF spot for Blackrock. Yes, I get that. But I think this kind of preceded it and had a lot to do with it. So having said that, I think that now that you see that the M2 chart for the money supply for China is starting to go down and starting to trend the other way, I think that has a lot to do with this right here, with this big old wick from I mean, it's on the 4-hour chart, but if I was to go to like a probably 1-hour chart, it's going to be the same wick. It's the same one. I mean, hell, we could probably even go 30 minutes and it's going to be the same one. Yep. So, nothing happens forever. And then in one 30-minute wick, everything happens. Amazing. And this is not positive right here. So I am expecting more follow through. I am definitely expecting follow through. This to me does not look bullish in any way, shape, or form. It actually looks quite bearish, and I am expecting follow through. I think ETH will probably get hit harder than Bitcoin, and that's why I am right now short the market again, but this time I'm doing it with ETH because I think it's gonna be more volatile than Bitcoin. And yeah, that's kind of like my take on what happened. I know that there's a lot of theories out there. What happened is BlackRock manipulating things. Who knows? Maybe they are, but I think this is something to keep an eye on. No one's talking about this chart, and I think that this chart has been basically a very good predecessor to what Bitcoin's going to do. So keep an eye on this chart. I don't know why more people are not talking about it because this has been just such a big deal, and it's just kind of one of those hidden ways to trying to see what happens. Now, I've heard a lot of talk, and I do agree with it that Bitcoin has been kind of like a predecessor or like the canary in the coal mine for what the NASDAQ and some of the more trad markets are going to do. And I do agree with that. It's been doing it all year round. And the fact that Bitcoin did what it did at the end of last week, I do think that that is kind of a sign that these traditional markets are way too frothy. They went up way too fast, too quickly, too much. And there will be some downtrend and reversals coming for the traditional market. So unfortunately, I don't think that things are going to change much in August. September's looking iffy, and it's like more of the same. And I keep staying kind of bearish, but I think that's going to be the case for at least probably another month and a half. But with the halvening coming up, and the fact that the BlackRock Bitcoin spot ETF could get approved as early as October, that could put some positive bullish price action in front of us come September, maybe late September. But right now, it just seems like more of the same. So yeah, be really careful out there, guys. If you're going to invest in a DeFi project, think twice. Just right now is not the best time to get too risky. And yeah, I've been hearing so many different stories from so many different projects. It's just sad to hear. The last one to fall is Wolf Capital. Not quite sure what happened there. I want to hear more about what happened. Because I thought that they had all these bots and all these kind of price controls to make sure that, there wasn't like the chasing the losses or anything like that. But it looks like from what I've read in Telegram, about 5 million was lost trading. So again, I'm just talking about what I saw in Telegram. Not sure exactly what happened. I'm sure more will come. But it just made me really disappointed to hear that from Wolf Capital because they were on my channel twice, and it's really the last project that I talked about. There's other DeFi projects that I'm still invested in. One of them was kind of recent, but I just don't really want to talk about new DeFi projects right now with such bearish conditions. So if you want to know what I'm up to, just DM me. Most of you guys already know. As far as DeFi, it's very little, but I don't want to publicly talk about anything because it's just a tough time for DeFi, and I don't see things changing for DeFi anytime soon. So having said that, be safe, trade well, and I'll see you in the next one.